welcome to the Team Bio-Nic podcast. I'm your host, Nico. Today we're going to speak about the habits of high performers. So let's start it now. When we look at the habits of high performers, we're going to look at 7 habits, to keep it brief. So individuals that generally are like that are people that are innately growth mindset orientated. They can withstand and endure quite a bit. They delay gratification. They are focused and they create their environment to trigger positive change and positive thoughts so that they can perform at their best, at their peak. All in all, to work towards their vision. So let's start with when they wake up in the morning. So the first thing they want to do is kick butt in the morning. They want to win the morning, win the day. The early bird catches the worm, hey? Or so they say. So what they focus on is sleep quality and quantity. So they generally try and strive for 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Then they get up early in the morning. And they do everything that is necessary to start their day, whether that be meditation, prayer, having a cold plunge, anything that can get them in the right set and the right frame of mind. Average performers, on the other hand, well, they get up when they must rush to work. Or they get up early and get distracted, sit on their phone, not doing anything that is going to be worth their while or for the benefit of their future self. They're stuck in the now on autopilot. And distraction is the easiest way to get away from the feeling that they have. The laziness, lethargy, not bullying themselves. Average performers generally rush. They don't plan the day. They don't plan the meals. They don't plan what they're going to drink, how much fluid, how much hydration. They get stuck in traffic. Whereby high performers get up before they must. Stress-free. Leave for work. They have journaled, read their overnight emails, exercised, and planned the day already ahead. So with high performers, they are quite conscientious. They are quite in tuned with their thoughts, feelings, who they are, who they want to become. And as such, they decide to do the thing that is the biggest, the hardest, the most difficult, or the most challenging thing or task to complete in the mornings. So the takeaway here is pretty simple, but very, very effective. When you plan your day the night before, plan to do the big and often ugly, but most important things first. Now, we're also looking at how they receive and interpret the feedback of their environment, mental cues, the external cues, and how they internalize it. So feedback, even when it's coming from someone that only wants to crap on you, can be a gift. And so these performers choose to learn from it. They have a perspective change that is one of growth, of learning, and of becoming better every day. So as feedback is a gift, they take failure as a gift as well. Something to teach them, something to help them reflect on and improve, whether that's a personality trait, a character flaw, a trauma that they need to work through, or anything else that helps them be a better human. Even when it comes from someone that really wants to give them nonsense about their faults, they take it, use it, create the lesson out of it, learn from it, and become better. Here's something to remember. Failure is an event, not actually a person. And if you choose to learn from it, you will never find a better teacher. It's all in the mindset, your perception of the environmental cue. You can choose to take it and go with it, or you can choose to take it and go backwards. Ultimately, the choice is up to you. Then we look at the character. So these high performers have a character that is contagious, an attitude, if you will. It's the only skill that cannot be trained. You either have it or you don't. The good news is that you get to choose your attitude. Just as Mark Twain used to say, and I quote, "The two most important days in a human being's life is the day that we are born and the day we figure out why." Discovering your purpose and your why is a powerful, powerful thing to experience. And it allows you to see who you are, what you're made of. And it allows you to see where you are going. Once you can know that, once you know your why, that is when you will find that your life will just improve on an exponential scale. Because now you are actually aligned with what you need to be doing, what you were made to do, what you were born to do. And another thing they do is they do more than others. Way, way more. And the secret? There's nothing. There's no secret. Want to go higher yourself? Make more. Be more successful? Do more. You work harder than anybody else. Sorry to burst your bubble there, but that's pretty much it. Work harder. Make more. Do more. These individuals also take a very high sense of responsibility for their actions. Even the ones they're not proud of. They accept their failures and their mistakes, and they gracefully but surely mature, level up, and do and become greater. So, as we all go through life, we face with various challenges of various degrees. But these individuals, when they are found in a difficult place or they are faced with a series of great opportunities, or how can I say this? Here we go. So these individuals, when they're faced with something that for the average Joe or Jane would feel impossible to overcome, they look at it as a series of great opportunities, brilliantly disguised as impossible situations. So as you listen to this, motivation is a key driver for action. But yet, motivation doesn't last, and it only lasts when everything is going well. When it's not, that's when these high performers excel. You see, the goal with them is to stay disciplined when things get tough. Discipline is the key for them to stay consistent and make micro steps in the right direction to level up. They also are continuous learners, whether that be for educational purposes, personal development purposes, or any avenue in their life that they feel intentionally needs work. They have a drive to learn and become more than what they are and what they were the day before. So we can look at a couple of things. So one, they wake up early, they get things done, they focus on effort, not results. They read and learn every day. They're very strict with themselves. They're very disciplined. But they forgive others. They seek out challenges, no matter how impossible it may seem for the individual looking at it. They're determined to change it, to look at it from a perspective of that is possible, and they reverse engineer it to break it down and make it look like child's play. They stay a student of life, a student of their career, a student of the world. There's always continuous learning. They know when to cut toxic people out of their lives, the people who don't actually serve the purpose. That's not part of their why. They think about their immortality. They understand that each day is a gift, and that gratitude is something to treasure, to implement daily for the health and well-being of their brain and their spirit. And they focus on what they can control. So when we look back and reflect on all these habits, all these characteristics that the high performers in this world possess, we can clearly see that most of the battle is getting themselves in the right state of mind and having the conviction of why they're doing it, and the conviction in their perception, in their mind, is bigger than the state of being idle. The situation that they may face in any realm of their existence is not as important as the attitude that they portray, that they possess towards those situations. For it's the attitude that will determine their success, and they know that. And if it's failure, they learn from it. There's no way to burn around the bush. If it's you literally just can look at it and see that if something is important enough, you'll find a way. And if it's not, you will always find an excuse. The choice is yours. There's a beautiful quote by Alexis Carrel, which goes like this: "Man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor." There's a level of relatability and compatibility with how these individuals perform and how they act and how they come across, their demeanor, with stoicism, with stoic rules of living a life well lived. We just have to look at um, the meditations of Marcus Aurelius when we look at how he discusses focus, that people should focus on effort, not results. That you got to be strict with yourself, but forgiving towards others. That you got to seek out challenges, stay a student of life, focus on what you can control, cut people and toxic people out of your life. Wake up early, read every day. So there are commonalities. So you can see there's a trend. There's a trend that if you follow, and that you can be disciplined to make it consistent for weeks, months, years, you will see that you are a completely different person, a completely different character. Your mindset will shift. The way you see the world and how you perceive it will only be there for the benefit of you. And when they professionally have failures, we know that they learn from it, but we also see that when they have failures in relationships, that they have a sense of humor, if you will. Almost like they're saying, cheers to the people who loved us, the losers who lost us, and the lucky bastards who get to meet us. So these high performers also surround themselves with like-minded people, with people they want to be around, that uplift them. So make sure you surround yourself with winners, with those who will force you to raise your own game and become better, stronger, wealthier, become legendary in your craft. With high performers, they also have a sense of not sitting on their phone, sitting in front of the television. They're completely growth orientated because they know that it's not just the food that you eat, it's not just what you watch, it's what you listen to, it's what you experience. So your diet is not only what you eat, it's also what you watch, listen to, and read, the people you hang out with, the things you subject your mind and your soul to. So these individuals are always trying to be mindful of these things that they intentionally or unintentionally put in their body, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. So I'm sitting here and discussing the habits of high performers, and at a time I considered myself the same, but there wasn't the consistency. There's many things that we all go through in life, ups and downs. I've done some crazy things in my life, but every day I try to become a better man, a better father. So don't believe everything you see on social media or what's going on. We all have our demons. We all have them. The difference is what we choose to do with them. Do we choose to embrace it and learn from it and heal from it? Or do we choose to allow it to overpower our mind, thoughts, and personality and become pretty shitty humans? It all falls upon you, your choice. And that choice is made every night before you go to bed, every morning when your alarm clock goes off. The choice is, do you get up and fight another day, live another day, experience another day? Do you get up, dress up, and show up? And when life just comes with a curveball, do you take it, break down, or do you take it and you improvise, adapt, and overcome? So making that decision, we have an evil source that tries to take away our purpose and our why, and that's comfort. Comfort is a drug. Once you get used to it, it becomes addicting. You give a weak person consistent stimulation, good food, cheap entertainment, and they'll throw their ambitions right out the window. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die. Don't allow yourself to get there, and don't allow yourself to kill your dreams. You deserve better. You know, there's another thing that our words are quite powerful. So when you do find that you are trying to incorporate these habits, try and normalize, especially when you get critiqued, you get constructive criticism. Normalize saying, I'm willing to work on it. Don't just say, that's how I am. Tough luck. Change your wording. And especially, words can be a very powerful thing because it can sometimes distract us from aligning ourselves to where we need to be. And if you don't separate yourself from your distractions will eventually separate you from your goals and your vision and the life that you want, to create. But along this journey of following your purpose and being driven, don't forget to not live. You gotta have fun. Because if you don't, you might get smart, you might get wealth, but deep inside you get dumb. So live as well. Don't let anything deter you from a balanced lifestyle. Set concise boundaries to the people you love, the people you know, your acquaintances, and to anybody that might interfere with your personal development, your personal space, your health, both mental, emotional, spiritual. Set those boundaries. Know when to say no. And see how you flourish as a person. So to close off, a high performer, a successful person, someone who can convert the following. They can convert fears into confidence, setbacks into comebacks, excuses into decisions, and mistakes into learning. And when I said that these individuals reverse engineer a problem and then build it back up, the solution it back up, step by step, well, to succeed, you must first improve. And to improve, one must first practice. And then, to practice, you must learn. And to learn, you first must fail. And to fail, you must try. Almost like a little Yoda quote, do or do not. There is no try. But the decision to do it is the action to try it. And when you fail at it, you learn from it. And when you practice, you improve. And when you improve, you succeed. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope that this podcast, this message, empowered you, motivated you, and gave you the tools necessary to live your best life yet. So go out, be the person that you want to be, that you were born to be, made to be. Because anything other or less than legendary is not what you were destined to do. Not that you were destined to be or do. So go forth and keep on keeping on.